Hey folks, hope you're doing good. It's Saturday night and surprise, surprise, I'm thinking about checking out some new bands. I've just sorted out these three bands. They're different sounds and different kind of vibes going on within the music, but this is the kind of stuff I'm fancying listening to right about now. So I thought, well, you might be interested in that as well. We'll sit down, hopefully listen to them together and enjoy them together. That's what it's all about. So I've sorted out three bands. There's three different energies in these bands. We got some psychedelic, electronic elements in these bands. First band's got a bit more energy. Second band's kind of medium energy. And then the third band, I've done us a nice slow, chilled track by a one-man band. So that's going to be the vibe tonight. Hopefully you'll stick around for it all because some of these tracks are quite long. But yeah, kind of doing it for myself more than anything, just recording myself, checking out music. So hopefully you'll stick around. This first band is called Krom. The track they've got for us is called Hibernation. And I just looked on their Facebook here and it says that they're a psych band, shoegaze, noise and post-rock. Love all of that. Where does it say they're from? It doesn't. Oh, it does. Swedish. These guys are Swedish. So I think we're all over the world again today. We were all over the world earlier with the hardcore. So anyway, I'll shut up and let's listen to some nice music. Yeah, it's got a good atmosphere. And quite noisy, yeah. Cymbals. Loving the sound of the bass in there. It's got a great tone, going nicely with the synth tones as well. Yeah, it's got a good atmosphere. Nice reverb on the vocal as well. Massive cymbal wash. Big weighty toms. Yeah. Bass just sounds great. It's almost got a digital synthy tone to it. That's why it sits with the synth so nicely. Good buzzy tone. Good energy in this one. It's got a nice pop to it. As I say, as we're going to go through the tracks tonight, we'll lose more and more of that energy. Great. I enjoyed that a lot. Had some great sounds in there. Bass just sounded superb all the way through, and it really drove the music nicely. The bass and the drums were really driving the music. The guitars were kind of just more accent stuff, down, 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 kind of funky in a way as well. But yeah, lots going on, man, with the synths as well, all different kind of sweeping tones on the synths, dirty, deep tones as well that went nicely with the bass. Just give it a good atmosphere as well. Almost a bit of a doominess to it. Great punchy drums and weighty toms, but when he crashed on that big cymbal there, I don't know if they'd run that through a distortion pedal or something like that, but it was really, really noisy. Noisier than a normal cymbal would be. So I think they'd put some effect on the cymbal there, but it worked out because it just filled out that sound, brought in a noisiness to the mix as well, which went with the distortion of the other elements of the band, and gave it a bit more kind of a noisy atmosphere as well. So yeah, lots going on, great sound, great energy. Now, this next band up is a band called Long Hallways. I think these are out of Portland. This track is called On Other Shores. This is a longer track, but this one's going to kind of be a bridge between the first track and the last track, where it's kind of got the energy somewhat of the first track, but it's going to chill us down a little bit, I think. And let me just quickly check what these guys said about their music. Post-rock, jazz rock, storytelling, and experimental. All those good words, so let's check it out. Okay. Nice sound. Yeah, bit of trumpet in there. Yeah. Horns sound really great. I think they've got a reverb on them. It sounds really nice. Nice raw drums as well. Great. Getting a bunch of different sounds in the mix. This dude's living the life in his head. Yeah, those drums. Just the rolls on the toms, you can really hear a rawness in the drums. Sounds great. Yeah. I like the sound of the electric piano in there as well. All the tones go well together with each other. Nice warmth from the bass. away on the ride sounds great as well. Yeah, a bit of sax as well. Great. Had some really nice sounds. A bunch of different instruments come into the mix. Yeah. This bug. Some nice changes in energy. It's got a smoothness to it, it's got a nice groove to it. Drummer's working it out. Man, the horns just sound great. Don't hear enough sax nowadays. There's a time there in the 80s and the 90s where loads of bands were using sax in pop music and stuff like that. You don't really hear it at all nowadays. I think it's got a great sound. Especially when you add a load of reverb to it as well. Moving the energy around nicely. Put a bit of dirt on that bass. Yeah. Yeah. This guy's tripping out. Great drumming. This section just sounds superb. All those elements have come together nicely. Great. Really enjoyed that. Haven't heard music like this in a while, if ever, really, in that way. Horns, saxophone, great tremmy riffing, raw, exciting drumming with lots going on. Bass with a bit of dirt on it as well that cuts through the mix. Sounded great. All washed in reverb and stuff like that as well. Just had a nice atmosphere, nice kind of room sound to it. Everything was smooth, everything was warm. Really great sound. Nice energy as well. Moved the energy about in a bunch of different sections, but they all flowed into each other. That last section was just superb. It all came together then. Everyone was doing something. It just sounded warm and deep and layered and just a bit unusual as well, because You know, horns and sax and tremmy riffs and post-rock. You don't hear that too often. You hear tremmy riffs and post-rock, don't get me wrong, but with horns as well, with reverby horns. Great! I don't know how many guys are in this band, but there must be a few, because they're all doing stuff. 5. Guy on the sax, electric guitar, electric piano, drums, and an upright bass even as well. So yeah, you could tell these guys were musicians. That was musicians' music, instrumental, no vocals or anything like that. Although some I always say it with the instrumental guys, but some atmospheric vocals. I would have just topped that one off. We're going to finish off with this last guy. I think this is a one-man band. He's called himself Facing Mountains. This track's called Chapter 1, Season's End. Now this one really is quite chilled. It's going to be one of the more chilled tracks we've had on the show, but I wanted to do it where we started off with a bit more energy. We had those guys in the middle that had a bit more energy, but then a bit more kind of slowness. And then we're going to finish off with this guy who's nice and slow and chilled. It's going to be a bit more of a kind of put you to bed track. I like it like that. That's how I've set it out. So hopefully you're enjoying it as well. Hopefully we've still got some people watching the video. Anyway, this is Facing Mountains. Let's finish off with this guy. Just open the Hell Cube. Or maybe the world to the Blue Man Group.
A slip from the mind, feelings run deep. A lot untold, no sense of time has taken your sleep. 'Cause you're drifting on, caught in past tense, bound to lose mind's mind. To love yourself, finding something in a place that's gone. It's done to lie with the others in the arms of the season's end. Done to write off the answers in the arms of the season's end.
Really nice warmth to this track. And the vocal, and all the instruments and the bass. It's just still got a nice warm tone to it. There's an electronic edge in there as well.
Your mess, conscience regained, but no remedy. Still you wander on. Is it passing, or has it got my side?
Yeah, some nice electronic edges in there. They're sitting in the mix nicely as well though.
Done to lie with the others in the arms of the season's end. Done to write off the answers in the arms of the season's end.
Great recording on the vocal. Picked up his voice really well. It's got a nice warm sound to it. Violins add a nice atmosphere to it. It's just got a great sound. Has some pretty trippy videos as well from these guys. Yeah. Such a warm, nice sound. Feels like it's hugging you. Very cool. I guess that's the end. Yes. Very nice. It's had some good quality videos today as well, all with the dudes in them tripping out and hallucinating and kind of getting lost in their own worlds. That's kind of what I wanted to do with these bands tonight. I was just in the mood to listen to some great music, some post-rocky music, not anything too heavy, not anything too pumping and banging away, but I wanted to have a bit of a mixture of an energy within this video. So we started out with some a bit more boppy, some a bit more full of energy, but not taking it too mental, but just with a nice groove and energy to it, and then kind of bridge that with the middle band, which I think we did nicely, and then finish off with a nice chilled out track for the end. And that's how I like to generally kind of work an album as well. I generally put all the energy up the front, and then as you go through the album, it gets more and more chilled and kind of ends on a nice chilled one. I think I got that from Nirvana ending on Something in the Way back in the day. I remember always listening to that one in bed. And you start off, with Teen Spirit and everything else, but then by the time you've got to Something in the Way, you're just drifting off nicely. And I always thought that was a great way to write an album and have a journey through an album. You can have ups and downs halfway through and things like that. But yeah, start it off with a good blast of energy and then move into something nice and chilled. And that's how I set up these videos. I'm very pleased that I did. How long have we been going on? 25 minutes. I hope people are going to get to the end of this video because I've enjoyed it very, very much, and I think you will enjoy all three of these bands if you just like great sounding music, because that's what they all were. So there you go. I'll end the video here. Hope you've enjoyed that, guys. See you around. Bye.